family. God bless you in Jesus' mighty name. Welcome back to my channel. My name is MJ. We'll talk all things autism. Happy Wednesday to you. I hope the week started off well for you, and during the weekend you had time to rest. I know the months are flying by. The days are flying by, the weeks are flying by. So I really truly hope that all is going well for you, all is going well for you, your family, and the kids during this time. So today we're continuing our nuggets on the training that I attended a couple of weeks ago, and we're continuing under the umbrella of effective teaching strategies. Last week we focused on ABA. I love ABA. I will always tell you guys that is one of the best behavior methods on how to help our kids kind of either start a good behavior, end a bad behavior, or in between. So today we're talking on the topic of reinforcer or reinforcement, if I want to use that. They all go hand in hand. So I want to define this, and I don't want to mix up the words, so I'm going to read it. So according to what we were taught, a reinforcer is a stimulus that when presented immediately following a behavior increases the likelihood of that behavior occurring again. So naturally, for us parents that have kiddos on the spectrum, even adults have reinforcers. Like even for us adults, for example, when you go to work, your reinforcer should be your paycheck, maybe the medical benefits you're getting, maybe your PTO time. So there's something that is causing you to continue to do what you're doing at work, at home, whatever it may be. So in this case, these our kiddos need reinforcers. Lady training us mentioned to us that we need at least 5 in place. 5. I was good with that number, but because our kids are so quick to change, sometimes so fast than we realize, especially as they're getting older, the reinforcers will change. That was one of the key things that she mentioned. And be mindful that reinforcers have levels, and I'll go through the levels in another video. But for example, in Jayson's own case, I know I'll give you just his top 5. He loves Skittles, he loves bubbles, he loves to play rough, whether it's spinning on a chair or something like that. He loves going for a walk, and I would say maybe his iPad. Let's give those 5. So out of those 5, there's one that drives him, right? So one example that she gave us was, for example, there was a kiddo that she was working in at home with the family. Unfortunately, she did not realize, and the family did not tell him, that one of the reinforcers has gone from higher level to very low level, and she didn't know that. So the kiddo was eloping and crossing the street, and unfortunately she thought what was the high in her head was the low now to the child, so the enforcer did not bring it back to him or back to her. So she was telling us, be mindful of where those levels of reinforcers are. For Jayson, if there's, let me say, a really rough environment that I'm trying to get his attention or grab it some way, tablet might not work necessarily, but I know if I mention Skittles or if I mention Pop Rocks, one of those things will get him to stop and be like, oh, mommy needs my attention, right? So for every child is going to be different. So she recommended 5 reinforcers, and let those that are on their case know what the highest level of reinforcer is, because that way, if anything happens, they can put that in place, and then they can be able to get that child to come back and reel him in or her in. Okay, so that was what I learned. I hope this was helpful to you. But reinforcers are good. It's good for anybody. And like I said, as they age, it will be different. When Jayson was maybe like 3, 4, his reinforcer then was the Welch's gummies. Now, Jayson could care less for Welch's gummies because he's like, it doesn't make me happy. It may be on the list, but it's probably like number 10. Right? So she always wants us to have these in our pockets or close by, or sometimes even when I go to appointments, I always seem to also have Airhead. That's another reinforcer for him, you know? So each and every child's gonna have one. So I hope you know your top 5, have it ready to go, ready to be used whenever it is necessary. Hope this was helpful to you, family. We'll continue next week on our next effective teaching strategy, which is a motivative operation, and I'll dive into that and we'll go into it more. Hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Please remain in the presence of God, because He is our source of strength during these times, family. I cannot say this enough. I know that there's moments where you're just like, Lord, can there be any more? And there are going to be months, weeks that is harder than it is for other weeks. But remain encouraged, family. Trust me, the journey gets easier. It gets different and easier, but it gets somehow easier as they get older. Okay, remain encouraged, remain blessed. Until I see you on Friday's video, remember Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. Amen. God bless you, family. Have a great rest of your week.